Warning, the stories you're about to hear are detailed accounts of shenanigans, pranks, and some mistakes that are meant to replicate the sort of discussions that veterans have when they reunite over a cold beverage and do not depict the professional daily actions of the military at large. We hope to make you laugh, but not to disrespect our proud men and women in uniform. Listener discretion is advised. Welcome to Cammo Comedy, where we take a humorous look at the lighter side of military service. We got a big show for you today, but before we jump into it, if you like what we're doing here, give us a subscribe, give us a follow, whatever they call it on your podcasting platform. And while you're at it, give us a 5-star rating, write us a review, as that makes us more relevant in the algorithm and boosts the overall visibility of the show. But word-of-mouth advertising is just so powerful, so if you tell some friends, I will love you forever. Okay, let's jump into the show. I am your host, Aaron Wolf. Just as a friendly reminder to the audience, we put out a new show every single Monday, so make sure you give the notification bell a nice tap. Give it a nice tap so you don't miss a show. Also, we are doing laughter therapy on the show. We got a lot of military members who struggle with everyday life after service, and we're just here to share a laugh and remember the good times. Joining me today is the man who taught me that there are not hot single MILFs in my area that want to chat with me. Call sign Footloose. Footloose, thanks for being on the show today and ruining my dreams.
It does seem like false advertising.
No, they're definitely in his area. They just don't want to talk to him.
I am actually not allowed to talk to women by court order.
I'm pretty sure you're not allowed within 500 feet of a school, too.
That's fake news. Also joining us today is the man who taught me that that's not the dildo fairy leaving things under my pillow. That's a crackhead. Call sign Cheeks. Cheeks, thanks for being on the show today, man.
Hey, thanks. I also taught you to stop leaving your key underneath your doormat, and that's how they were getting in.
So, correct me if I'm wrong here. You can leave used Connies under your pillow and get a dildo from the dildo fairy, though. That's correct?
Not correct.
That seems legit.
You should stop taking Footloose's advice.
He's so gullible. Hot singles, dildo fairy.
There's some, there's some princes out there that want to give me money.
Yeah, so when you're talking to that dildo fairy, he's leaving stuff under your pillow. Don't forget to spread cheeks with it and not hate.
Nice.
They'll bring the hate.
Yeah, they'll bring plenty of hate.
Nice. The dildo fairy does exist, though. I stand firm.
Negative.
All month long.
I stand firm. Get it?
Like an erection?
I'm not getting it.
All right.
Not yet.
You'll get it later.
When you're spreading cheeks.
All right, you guys ready for my first story?
Yes.
So we have, the first time on the show, an Army cook story.
Oh.
Nice.
This is going back to the late 1970s, early 1980s. And we're also happy to report that this Army cook actually was stationed at a Army base that did basic training. So he had a lot of encounters.
Oh, wow.
We had a lot of encounters with guys on KP duty and guys fucking up, things of this nature. So we got a lot of fun stories from him.
So we've got an Army lunch lady story. Go on.
Have some more sloppy joes.
So this is before they replaced all the actual Army cooks with the fat ladies who just put the slop on your plate.
I don't know what that means.
That's because you weren't in the Army and all you know is the luxurious stories from Footloose and the Air Force cooks.
Never saw a single fat lady ever.
Gordon Ramsay's catering their chow halls.
Actually, it turns out that the mess section is very heavily underappreciated section. It's really hard. They got to get up before everybody else. It's long ass days. Don't get a whole lot of credibility.
They cook like shit.
They don't get a whole lot of, well, okay. Interesting that you bring that
Army does.
Yeah.
One of the first things that this guy told us is at least the way that it went down back in the late 70s, early 80s, is they could drink booze on shift when they wanted to, right?
That's why it sucks.
They think it tastes great.
Yeah.
So what he explained to me is you'd show up for the day, kind of get everything going, and then you could tell one of your buddies that you were opening up with, you'd be like, hey, man, I'm going to go get a carton of eggs. Be back in 5 minutes. Wink, right? And then his buddy would be like, hey, whoa. So you're going to go get some eggs, right? I'm going to go grab some bacon. We'll be back here in a little bit, right? So they would go into the walk-in, and they would have themselves a beer, maybe a shot of whiskey or something like that, and they wouldn't get, crazy plastered, but it was pretty well acceptable that,
Just to get rid of the shakes.
Just maintenance drinking.
Just like a little bit of drinking throughout the day. Now, we wouldn't recommend this kind of a thing. If you probably shouldn't cook drunk, I would say. A lot of knives, a lot of great ways to get cut,
Right.
a lot of
But
ways
if
to
you
get
do,
burned
you should
and
tell
things
us.
like that. But anyway, but that was one of the big perks to being a cook is that, like, you could always kind of play. It's like, no, that's just the wine that we cook with. Don't worry about that over there.
My breath just smells like that because I was tasting the food.
Well, I mean, they said they didn't really get fucked with a whole hell of a lot. Like, as long as you're making some food and you kind of got left alone for the
I
most
did the
part.
wrong fucking job.
Right? When I heard that, I was like, wow, that is a hell of a
But they
thing.
were sometimes underappreciated.
But you could always be drunk.
Yeah.
But anyway, so one of the other things he said, we got some fantastic trolls that they used to like to play on the basic trainees that would come in for KP duty, right? So there was one guy in particular that would come in for KP duty, and they had this huge mountain of potatoes, right? And they were like, hey man, we're going to need you to peel the potatoes. And then they would hand him this like sad little dinky like potato peeler and be like, here you go.
And there's 400 Idaho potatoes.
There was like
Fucking mountain of them.
There was a mountain of potatoes. Now, to make matters worse, they had an industrial potato peeler right there. They said that this thing peeled 500 potatoes at a time, and like right in front of this guy, like that was just going to town peeling a potato one at a time with this stinky little sad fucking potato peeler. They would just load up 500 things into this hopper, close the latch on it, hit the button, and it was like presto, 500 potatoes peeled instantaneously, right? And they did this constantly to people that were coming in. Nobody ever asked, hey man, can I use that machine?
These guys are mopping in the rain.
Literally.
Well, I also think it's like the stress of basic training. And no matter what you do in basic training, you're wrong, right?
I
Like,
mean, I wouldn't fucking ask. I guess
You know
I'm
what
gonna
I
peel
mean?
this individual potato.
and you're like, hey, I'm going to be here for the whole fucking day. So whatever, like just going to go have at this thing.
Yeah.
But like he said, they wouldn't have told him no if he's like, can I load this thing up and then do like 500 at a time? Would you mind? They'd be like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
That is what it's for.
One of the other fabulous trolls that they told us about is in the mess hall, they had these humongous, like industrial sized cans. Like imagine like big cans of green beans, big cans of corn, things of this nature.
Yeah.
They had a huge stack of those. So they'd like motion for a guy over on KP to be like, hey man, we're going to need you to come over here and open like this mountain of humongous cans. Here's your P38. Now, for those in the audience who might not know, a P38 is this sad little emergency situation can opener. It's designed to go around the little chain on your dog tags, and it like you can look it up online. It like you can open a can of tuna fish in like 2 minutes or something like this. If you're in an emergency situation, you'll
You're
get a
really trucking. You
Yeah.
can get through a tuna can in 2 minutes.
Yeah, like it'll get a can open, but it's going to take you a while. It is not a magnificent machine, right? So like they just handed them a little, like they would hand guys on KP duty a little P38 and be like, here's your can opener. We need you to open all these humongous industrial cans.
Oh my God.
Much like the potato peeler, they had an industrial freaking can opener that it was just like counter mounted, and they would just hook up a big can to that. And one swirl of the thing, the whole can is open.
Yeah.
Right. And they would just start opening cans in front of these people, and they're just like sitting there with their little P38, just
cranking
going
away.
to town, like cranking. It would take them 45 minutes a can or some shit like that to open up one of the cans.
Working this motherfucker like a wind-up toy. Just working their way around the can.
But again, he's like, if they would have asked, we would have let him use the can opener. But like, we're just going to set them up for something and kind of see how they react.
It does what it's told.
Yeah.
Just working it like cheeks an inch at a time.
Best 30 seconds of your life, I guarantee you.
Well, to open that can, it was way more than 30 seconds. Anyway.
We're talking about my inch, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
And
You're
the
right.
crying and cuddling. And
It's like a
Right.
drag race.
You're right.
First one done wins.
But yeah. I love those stories. We got several from this Army cook, so thanks for sharing.
That's awesome.
Phenomenal.
We love a good troll on this show.
So those of you guys that follow my social media, you know that I was out in West Virginia a few months.
Hell yeah. Mountains.
All right. But I was out there on the side-by-side, shitting and getting, and I was handing out koozies and stuff, met a couple fans, and I talked with somebody who was an Air Force mechanic a number of years ago.
Fuck yeah.
And he was telling me how he used to fuck with the new guys.
Oh, right.
I loved this story. And the way that I saw him is we were in one of the place we were staying at had like its own little bar and whatnot, and the lights were real dim, and this guy walked in, and I see him like fucking with the light switches over on the side. Like, he doesn't work there, right? He just walks in. He decides, this is too dark for me, so he starts flipping the lights on.
Yes, I like that kind of guy.
Oh, me too. And I looked over, I was like, that guy was in the military, right? And everyone was like, well, how do you know? I was like, that guy was in the fucking military. So I walked over.
Not too dark.
Was there a sign that said don't flip the lights or anything like that? Because that's
I didn't
definitely...
see it.
Okay.
I didn't see if there was, but it's understood. You don't fuck with
That would be a dead giveaway.
Yeah. So I walk over to him after he sits down and he gets his beer. And I'm like, hey, man, were you in the military? He goes, yeah, how'd you know? I was like, well, anybody who's bold enough to walk over there and start fucking with the lights in somewhere you don't work, somebody knows how to get some shit done.
Right.
So I hand him a koozie. We talk for a minute, and he shares a story with me, right?
Right.
He was an Air Force maintainer back in the day, and he said the way he used to fuck with his new guys is they would go to the jets, like these F-15s or F-16s, whatever they were working on at the time, and he would tell these new guys that they have to check the gauges, okay?
All right.
And the way you would check the gauges and test them
legit.
is you have to scream into the exhaust
That
of
checks
the
out.
jet. And the vibrations from that makes the
dildo
gauges
fairy.
move. Like the dildo fairy. So he would have these new guys walk to the back of these jets. And he's up at the front like, now you gotta go louder. I'm not seeing the gauges move.
It's like a breathalyzer.
Because that's exactly how jets work.
And he would tell him, hey, man, if you don't get these things to move, we're going to have to take this whole fucking engine apart.
At a certain point, you'd be like, fuck it, let's take the engine apart. I'm done screaming into a fucking exhaust.
I mean, I'm no mechanic. That seems legit.
Right? So that was the troll that he used to do to those guys.
Oh, my.
I fucking loved that story.
That's a hell of an initiation. I love that.
I've not heard that before. That's incredible.
I know. So I gave him a koozie and sent him on his way. Thanks for sharing that
Hell
with me when
yeah.
I was down there, man.
Yeah. Hell of a troll.
We'll be right back with more Cammo Comedy after a quick word from our sponsor. Stay tuned.
With Just the Tip Tactical, Just the Tip has never felt so good. Their top-notch muzzle brakes tame your rifle's recoil, keeping you locked on target and grinning like you just hit the bullseye in more ways than one. Say goodbye to kick and hello to faster follow-up shots. Check them out today at justthetiptactical.com. That's justthetiptactical.com. Whether you're looking to improve your rifle or just want some cool apparel with an eye-catching logo, go now to justthetiptactical.com. That's justthetiptactical.com. Enter promo code WOLF, that's WOLF, for 15% off. You can't beat that. And when you patronize the companies that sponsor us, it helps us pay the bills over here. So thank you for supporting the businesses that support us. Patriot Mobile. If you haven't made the switch yet, then what are you waiting for? For years, Patriot Mobile has stood on the principle that freedom is worth fighting for. These guys are legit and staunchly pro-military. Patriot Mobile supports all kinds of pro-military causes to include Warrior Rising, Folds of Honor, Boot Campaign, Tunnel to Towers, Soldier Strong, and Carry the Load. So don't support those big companies that don't got your back. Make the switch to Patriot Mobile today. Now, I know what you're thinking. Aaron, I like my coverage, and I don't want to drive to a shop and go through the hassle of switching my service. Well, good news. Patriot Mobile has better coverage because it's one of the only providers that can give you coverage on any of the 3 major networks. And it's not a hassle to sign up. Just call their US-based customer service line at 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Or just click the link in the description and sign up. It usually only takes about 15 minutes using an eSIM, and you don't have to drive anywhere. Now, if you're locked into a contract, not to worry, because Patriot Mobile has a buyout program of up to $500 per device. So call today, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Or just click the link in the description and make sure you use the promo code WOLF, that's WOLF, for 1 free month of service. Okay, let's get back into the show.
So speaking of a good troll story, that seems to be the theme today.
Yes.
This one is coming from the Air Force Academy. Very
Ooh.
prestigious. Here.
Yeah.
So, well,
Very highbrow for the show.
so this guy, we'll say he was in the Air Force Academy. He did not graduate the Air Force this academy. But he had a great story on his way out.
See, that's the way. If you're going to get kicked out, you better get your money's
Yeah,
worth.
it wasn't for something dumb. So this
He
guy
wasn't yelling into exhaust.
So this guy is known for being a bit of a jokester, a prankster, if you will. Loved kind of testing the boundaries, which is why at this point in the story, he's already kind of on his last strike, if you will. So I'll have to get more stories from him to see what other strikes led up to this final moment here. But he was kind of like our recurring character, Ron.
Yeah.
Slightly
Okay.
well endowed, very proud of it, like to show it off in a bunch of different ways.
That's what the first 2 strikes were.
I can imagine, yeah, it had something to do with that.
Ball 1, ball 2.
Shaft 3.
Yeah, exactly.
So this one, they were getting ready to do this very big formation. Kind of like we were talking about in early episodes. Everybody lined up, locked up at attention, don't move, don't say anything, military bearing to the max. This one, they were giving a presentation on the field, all kinds of high up brass leadership. He said multiple generals of at least 2 and 3
I was going to
stars.
say, when you're talking about the academy like this, when you're talking about high up brass, you're not talking about like the local colonel or something like
no,
this.
this is like nearly the highest ranking individuals in the entire military are at this presentation that they have going on here. And he didn't go into why they were there or what it was for, but if you can imagine, again, at the Air
For his
Force Academy.
courts-martial?
Yeah. Very high up people in the audience here they're giving this presentation to. So as part of his prank that he wanted to do was he found this pair of underwear that had a horse face on the front, like a cartoon horse face. And so basically right where his dong slides in is like the nose of the horse.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's like a little pouch he puts it in.
I wonder if they can sponsor the show. I'm going to have to reach out.
Well, so he said, he'd say like, you want to pet my horse? And so he'd drop his pants
my
and they'd see the
fuck
horse
outta
nose
here.
poking out. And then, so then like, go ahead, pet him. And yeah, so they touch it and it makes noise.
No!
So you pet the nose and it goes,
I will just go out on the record and say, don't do this if you're in any professional academy.
this was years ago.
But if you do, email us.
So he would do this prank to everybody. Well, so everyone in his squad knew that he had this pair of underwear. And so he decided to wear them to this formation
fuck outta
to
here.
play little jokes with people.
This guy doesn't like to be in the Air Force at all. Was this Swede's cousin?
Yeah, this guy knows Swede for sure.
So part of what you do is you try and break your friend's military bearing. Like you're standing there at attention. And so he'd slide one of his hands over and just tap the button.
Batting at his
And all of a sudden-
Johnson.
So the people around him knew what that sound was and would have to hold back laughter because he's standing there perfectly at attention, not phased, not moving, not smiling. And
shit.
people around him like, oh my God.
There's horse noises coming from his crotch.
So they're, trying to hold back laughter. And so he said, again, it's in the middle of this ceremony. No one's supposed to be making a face, making a noise, making movement. And all of a sudden you just see shaking shoulders of people like laughing but not saying anything. We said he did it too many times and it glitched. No. So he's trying to get it to stop, but it's just one after another. And it is just continually going.
The battery starts to die.
It's like a fucking Furby. He could not get it to stop making noise. Like he's trying to like bend the battery in half to break it, and it's nothing is working.
Deal with all the battery acid on your Johnson.
So it's
Just whatever.
the horse noise just continually keeps going off to the point where even the speaker starts to hear it and is like stopping his speech, kind of looking around like, what the fuck is that?
That's a
horse
great
noise
way to
coming
get
from?
kicked out.
And it's to the point where people, like the audience starts laughing, everyone around him starts laughing, and everyone just gets slap happy at that point because this fucking horse noise will not stop. They can't take anything seriously.
Some retired veteran who was on the first cav fucking stands up and starts saluting.
So at this point, it's like it spread like an infection through the formation. Everyone is fucking losing it, breaking military bearing, doubled over laughing hysterically at this fucking horse
Just imagine
noise.
the perspective of somebody up there giving the speech and you just hear fucking horse sounds going off and everybody giggling
You
in the
just
audience.
slowly see everyone start laughing. He said he looked up knowing he's fucked at this point. His commander's just fucking beat red,
you've just got to-
clenching his white-knuckled fist.
You just got to embrace it at that point. point.
And that's when he knew that was the end of his graduation.
And another thing is, like, how are you going to explain that? I would love to be in that counseling session where he's trying to be like, listen, in my defense, it could have happened to anybody. I didn't know that my undies made a horse sound. And show me the regulation where
there's nothing that says I can't wear horse dong underwear that neighs when you touch it.
I mean, technically, I don't think they've got that in depth into the regulations that
Show me the AFI.
I mean, I guess that's the way to play it.
That's why they started issuing tidy tans.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was.
I think
that was the end of his Air Force Academy career.
Gee, I wonder why. I think the real move at that point, when that thing won't stop neighing, is like you just got to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Like you pretend like you soiled yourself and you fall out and just run away.
Sprinting across the field. He pulls out coconuts.
I mean, in all reality, you'll probably get in less trouble. Just say, listen, I had an emergency.
Or he should have walked into the counseling session, looked at his commander, and said, "Why the long face?"
Oh, God.
I mean, you can't get in more trouble at that point.
Listen, I'm already getting kicked out of this academy.
Just brings him an apple to sit on his
All
table.
in favor of counseling, say aye.
Nay.
Opposed? Nay.
Oh, man.
See, the jokes after this are endless.
Oh, my God. That might be my favorite story ever. Holy shit. Fucking legend, man.
He was absolutely a legend. I got to get more stories from this guy.
Yeah.
That can't be the end of it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I want to hear what strike one and strike two was. If that was the end of the road for him.
Got to get the prequels now.
Yeah. Holy shit.
All right, so I got the next story.
All right.
We've got ourselves another Air Force story. And this story is going back to the 1990s.
All right.
Right? Now, we have a security forces story, or what the Air Force refers to as their military police, right? So we've got one main character here, and we're going to call him Alabaster. Now, what can we say about old Alabaster
Typical
here?
common name like Alabaster.
Yeah.
Well, he was a what they call a flight chief, which is a shift supervisor for security forces.
Okay.
And he was a really good leader, really took care of his guys. And as he really took care of his guys, he got a high degree of respect, right? So, like, you could say a lot of his troops would do a lot of the heavy lifting for this guy, right? He was a really cool guy. But the only thing that was a little bit different about him is that he was, like, super effeminate, right?
You'd let him know when he's on the rag.
He did not do that. No. This guy was known as being like super cool. The only thing I can really like frame it in with, like for an example, would be imagine like Xerxes from 300, right?
Okay,
like
yeah.
you had like he's not necessarily
He's a generous god.
Yeah, exactly. He's not necessarily getting carried around on like, one of those like land rafts or whatever. But what he was famous for is he would get a driver for the day. So when he would go out and do post checks or whatever, he would just get like an airman to drive him around.
Oh my gosh.
And he was just kind of like the cool guy that was going to go out and do post checks. Now, for those of you in the audience who might not know, post checks are a lot what they sound like. The supervisor's going to go out to all the posts, just check up on your guys, see if they're in need of anything, see how their morale's doing, have they been fed, just basic housekeeping stuff, right? So old Alabaster is getting driven around base, and he goes out to the flight line to check on his guys out there. Now, the guys out in the flight line were actually performing what is known as identification inspections. So they're just making sure that everybody that was out on the flight line was authorized to be there, so they would just check the identification. Well, as Alabaster is getting driven up, one of the maintenance guys is passing by one of the security forces guys and just kind of tries to blow him off. Like, not in a sexual way, but like, just like, I don't want to show my badge today.
Yeah.
Whatever, fuck you guys. Right? So Alabaster happens to see this maintenance guy just trying to blow off the inspection, and Alabaster goes, "Oh, hell no. Apprehend that motherfucker."
Yeah. Oh my God.
So like right then and there, the driver, make sure that it's in park. He pops out, like he goes and challenges the guy, the other security forces guy that was in the area. They kind of like convene and they cuff the guy. They do like a simple search and all that stuff. So Alabaster gets out of the vehicle and kind of confronts the guy that was trying to, blow off the check and says, "Now what makes you special? What makes you think you don't have to show your identification here on my flight line?" That kind of thing.
I love this guy.
Sachets out of the car.
Oh,
He's got his
hell
fur
no.
coat on.
Exactly.
Twirling a cane.
Exactly. He had the style. Like he got a lot of respect from his guys. Like that was just like kind of his way.
Well, yeah, you take care of your people, they'll take care of you.
Absolutely. So the long story short was that they had to contact this guy's supervisor and they got everything sorted out and everything like that. But it was just always a running joke where people would like see each other and be like, oh, hell no. Apprehend that motherfucker.
Made him kiss the ring before he could be released.
Exactly.
Beat him with his pimp cane. Jesus.
That's amazing.
Nice.
Was he hot?
Hey, thanks for checking out the Cammo Comedy Show Podcast. If you like what we're doing here and you want to participate in this community, there are many different ways you can contribute.
First and foremost, tell someone about the show. Word of mouth advertising is very powerful, and we really appreciate you helping us out.
If you have any funny military stories of your own or know somebody who does, with their permission, of course, you can contribute those stories via email at stories@cammocomedy.com. That's stories, STORIES, at CAMMOCOMEDY.com. And if you're not too good at the internets, drop us a voicemail at area code 531-222-6146. That's area code 531-222-6146.
Yeah, and if you want to interact with us throughout the week, hit me up on my socials, Facebook and Instagram. Just look up !Cheeks.
We have a lot of big plans for this show. In building this community to support veterans, we will announce here soon. So stay tuned. All right, I'm going to go enjoy a nice pasta salad with a little mayonnaise later.
Okay, first of all, mayonnaise?
Why do you always have a problem with the way I talk?
There's a way you're supposed to say the word, Aaron.
Mayonnaise?
That's not it.
Panaz.
That's not fucking it, Aaron. That's not.
am your host, Aaron. Fuck.
Aaron Fuck.
We had to change his name after we introduced Beer Wolf.
How dare you, sir?
Be the only fuck on this show.
All right, give me a second. I laughed too hard. My head hurts.
Did that come across well? Nay.
I think it was okay.
As he's running past you. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that was good. That was spectacular.
That was so good.
Yeah, you got to reach out to that guy. And be like,
Dude,
listen,
I'm
bro,
going to message him today.
I need to know
'cause I
how
forgot
many
about
times
that.
you've been in trouble.
Yeah.
And then we'll feature him all the time on the show.
Yes. We'll call him Ed.